So, here we are again with an article from Doctor Who TV. Doctor Who and the Curse of Fatal Funds. How RTD2, I want to say RTD2 blew the budget. This is quite interesting actually, as a Doctor Who fan, because it's something negative, but in the sense of understanding something. In quotations, so, you lost your big Hollywood partnership with the House of Mouse. You screwed up. You know what you did was wrong. The question is, how are you gonna fix it? Gonna is very American. How did one of television's longest running shows end up spinning big, shouting loud, and still losing its biggest backer? That's what we're here to unpack today. Let's look at what went wrong with the R2D2 era budget. RTD2. Also, you want to say STD, to be honest. How to fix it and why they'll probably ignore everything after the next full stop. Ready? First item on the list, excess spending on useless scenes. Again in quotations. So, you overspent on unnecessary gags and maxed out the house's credit card. You screwed up. You know what you did was wrong. The question is, how are you going to explain it to your accountant? Shall I do this in Palpatine voice? So, you overspent on unnecessary gags and maxed out the house's credit card. You screwed up. You know what you did was wrong. The question is, how are you going to explain it to your accountant? Let's use Space Babies to explain. Right out of the gate, we're treated to the sequence where the Doctor takes Ruby to prehistoric Earth. Whoops. She turns into a lizard person. I've not seen this. Lizard person. Yeah, okay, I get it. Doctor Who lore. Okay. It's colourful, it's loud, but also utterly pointless. The gag contributes nothing to the story. It's there because someone somewhere thought, wouldn't it look cool, guys? Come on, that would be great. And it does look cool. It also looks expensive. I remember as well, this was like a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Didn't Captain America, the Winter Soldier, the executive said, we want him jumping off a helicopter. That's your first thing. Make something around that. Recently, someone actually commented this in one of my videos and said, big is not better. Well, depends what you're talking about. But in terms of making films and stuff, yes. Another commenter said, you don't have to always try to outdo what was done before. I completely agree with this. Just make a good story, man. But it's just a gag about the dangers of time travel. The sort of thing that could have been done anywhere else in the series for a fraction of the cost. In fact, Rusty Davies already did this scene back in 2005 during The End of the World. Great episode, by the way. Let's ballpark to see how much each of these scenes might have cost the production of Doctor Who, using standard UK industry rates and making some assumptions. Now, I have an inflation calculator for pound, so we're going to see. For Space Babies, you can see there, I don't have to go through it. Okay, set and build and dressing. 191,000 an episode. And that's probably not the other costs that are on top of this. This is just a brief summary. You don't have as well in this the actors' contracts and how much they were paid per episode. 191,000 for a BBC production of Doctor Who. Doctor Who was great because the sets were, let's just say, they were not the best. But me personally, that's why I don't like modern video games. And I agree, and I'm going to shout him out. Maybe some of you don't know. Retro Dan Vasc. Dan Vasc is a Brazilian singer. Very good. Check him out. Please, Dan Vasc. And he's really into retro gaming. And he will not play something new. There's a reason for that I also do not like playing something new. It's too into reality. I like, when I was younger, my first console was Sega Genesis. I played Sonic. I love those types of worlds where it's escapism, right? You want to escape. So I want to escape. I don't want to see the real world. I want it to be a little bit different. Again, that's my take. And isn't it weird? If you speak to youngsters these days, if you ask them, what did you eat last weekend? They can't tell you. I'm convinced, because I have a good memory, that this comes from doing certain things, but also as a youngster, I was 3 or 4 years old playing with my mum, Sonic the Hedgehog 1 and 2, also Sonic and Knuckles, Aladdin, Batman on Sega Genesis as well, before the first PlayStation. I'm convinced, because it's a memory game. You have to remember if you die in the game, of course, you have to remember then, okay, I've got to jump here, I've got to go there, I've got to do this, got to do this. Anyway, for the end of the world, you can see 30,000. Now, I've done an inflation thing here. You can check it yourselves. This was 53,360.42. Even for inflation, less than half. Okay, because, of course, 191 divided into 2, just quick math here, would be 95.50. Is that correct? Yeah. Quick math, guys. That's how you do things. The Ninth Doctor's scene, by contrast, achieves the same narrative purpose, showing off the TARDIS's time and relevant dimensions in space, giving the companion her first trip moment for a fraction of the cost. It's not that the space team babies, did anything wrong technically, it's that they did everything expensively. I love this actual photo here. Does nothing, does barely anything, does nothing, finally does something, does nothing, does impossible, or does the impossible, or does the impossibly, if you want to be correct. Does nothing, then you've got this beautiful scene. I think it's from Parting of the Ways. It should be episode 12. Does something, red shirt meme, does something, gets a spin-off. Torchwood. Does something, Captain Jack Harkness, guys. Red shirt. Again in quotations. So, again, should I do it in Palpatine? So, you hired everyone in Cardiff to be in your Doctor Who episode. You screwed up. You know what you did was wrong. The question is, how are you gonna tell them you don't need them anymore? One of the quietest but coolest problems with modern Doctor Who is its obsession with overstaffing every episode. Scenes that should center on the Doctor and their companion now look like corporate conference calls. Hence what I was saying before about Captain America. If you have people in charge that don't know anything about the product of which they are catering to. Okay, it's like, you see, obviously some of you have watched like Gordon Ramsay, Hell's Kitchen and stuff like that. Like, some people go into the restaurant business without knowing anything about food. You're going to fail, because you need to be an expert, not an expert, that's a long shot, but you need to know at least something. It's like a doctor. You've got a doctor who's a surgeon. You want them to be qualified in what they're doing and have experience. Well, I dropped out of university, but they gave me a job because I knew someone. I'm going to operate on you. No. You're not. Sorry. Unit soldiers, scientists, consultants, and legacy characters all crowd the frame, repeating exposure, nodding solemnly, or in some cases, literally holding the door open. I'll tell you why they do this in a minute. Every extra face means makeup, wardrobe, transport, catering, and a day's pay. The Reality War, didn't watch it, don't want to watch it. Maybe I will watch it, who knows. It's a perfect example. Belinda, Anita, Kate, Abraham, him, Elaine, Shirley, Carly, Winnie the Pooh, the Flicks, Rose, and Sherry. 11 main characters, 10 supporting, plus the nameless background operatives starring heroically at computer screens. You know why I do this? Because they have no story to tell. If you know the history, for example, of the devil, I remember reading this book when I was a kid. The devil first appeared, I think, was in the 50s in what then I think was a Czechoslovakia. I could be wrong. And it was a black and white film, and they were playing chess. It was two characters. One was the devil. You can make something great with just two characters or just two people in a scene. Take the Doctor and the Master. It should be just them two. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You can do it if you have good writing. This is what it's all come back to, and this is a lot of comments I've had as well in my videos. It's about the writing. Contrast that with The Parting of the Ways, 6 main characters, 6 side or supporting ones. 5 episodes use reoccurring sets, the unit base, and stuff like 5 sets. Sets as well is important. Okay, if you're going to write, you need to think about the budget. So you need to limit as well where you're going to do scenes, because it costs to hire places to film, especially the tax, which is on top of that. But you got to make it interesting. You got to keep the audience involved. But The Parting of the Ways brings meaning from intimacy, while the Reality War mistakes headcount for scale. Exactly. That's what I said. Now let's talk money. Using UK equity, union baselines, and a standard 12-day shoot, the Reality War ranks up an estimated 340,000, wow, in performance costs alone. Part of the Ways roughly 194,000 or 110,000 in 2004 currency. So let me check this. So I don't understand why they've written here 194,000 or 110,000 in 2004 currency, but 110,000 in 2004 currency now is 199,679.39. They're wrong. 20 actors versus 12. Some screen time, half the purpose. Bear in mind, these are not true values, but base industry estimates, assuming that both stories were made in 2025, which they weren't, but hopefully you understand the difference. By the way, it's earned its emotional heft with a fraction of the people and 3 times the focus. Reality War, on the other hand, pays through the nose for redundancy. A dozen characters stand around a soundstage built to look cinematic, where only 2 of them matter. Anita, whose defining job is to hold the door, represents real production cost, a full day's wage, transport, costume, makeup, catering, repeated across multiple shooting dates. Yeah, if you don't understand this, you are retarded. You are absolutely retarded. With any business, the first thing you think about is, how do I make a profit and what money I'm putting out? Now, it's like The Acolyte. It cost 300 million for one season. That's why Disney pulled the plug and they did not renew it for season 2. I've made previous videos about this. You should not be you do not need to spend this much. No fucking way. Some of the kids, sorry guys, my language, when in doubt, less really is more. Otherwise, you might find yourself explaining to Mickey why a 62-year-old time travel show managed to spend 200 million on 26 episodes. That's crazy. I still couldn't afford a decent script. 200 million. Godzilla -1 cost between 12 to 15 million. And it's an amazing, amazing film. My favorite film of, it came out last year, right? Or the year before? No, 2 years ago. My favorite film of 2024. No, 2023, sorry. Absolutely great. Inadequate use of cheap filler episodes. Oh my gosh. Again in quotations. So, you forget you only have limited episodes. You screwed up. You know what you did was wrong. The question is, how are you gonna stretch that budget without stretching your audience's patience next time? Now let's talk about the art of the cheap episode. This is what they call filler. It's the clever story that saves money so you can blow something up later. Love and Monsters did it with humor and location shooting with practical effects. Blink made television history. Blink is, great episode. Made television history with one practical monster and a handful of actors. Midnight kept everyone trapped in one room and used nothing but dialogue to make you afraid of a children's game. And there was the other episode with, I forget what it's called, with Tennant. It was before actually the library, and it's on a track. I think it's James Gordon that's in it. It plays a cat. But somewhere along the way, modern Doctor Who forget the assignment. You'd think, boom, and the story and the engine were your bottle episodes, or they're calling them bottle episodes. Okay. After all, small casts, limited sets, but boom, built a massive new set for 2 scenes that could have been filmed anywhere else or cut entirely. What the story of the engine? Again, I've not watched this shit. Went for the broke with unnecessary CGI in the form of a big spider god. Oh my gosh. Trying to rip off Jean Pertwee, are we? Instead of being smart with the budget, they decided to see how much money they could burn before the credits rolled. Here's the kicker. Modern Who isn't 13 episodes anymore, it's 8. That means no room for filler, and yet somehow we're drowning in it. In the old days, you could afford to wonder. Now every episode has to count, but half of the series 14 doesn't. Yeah, but we've seen this in a lot of places. A lot of places. That you get 6 episodes and 4 episodes of filler. Like, what are you doing? You can't be antagonizing your audience like that. Seriously. I know my videos are long. This is going to be my longest one. But if you want to hang around, you will. Again, gorgeous to look at. Yeah. If you guys don't know, I'm male. Heterosexual. So a woman could be very beautiful. But if the brain is not there, beauty can last only a while before I will get bored. In my opinion, it's the same thing. And why waste those precious slots on disconnected side quests when you could use them to build something? Imagine a villain-focused mid-season episode which gives us a glimpse into the Ronnie's plan for Omega or Susan. Read the rest, guys. I'm really not in the mood. Negative marketing. So you chased away your fan base. You screwed up. You know what you did was wrong. The question is, how are you gonna win them back without looking desperate? The Jedi are no more. Negative marketing is the easiest mistake to avoid and somehow the hardest lesson to learn. It costs nothing, yet numerous productions end up paying through the nose. In reality, all you have to do is keep your mouth shut. Yes, especially about your propaganda. In 2025, you're free to have whatever opinion you like, but here's the catch. Creators now depend on their fans far more than fans depend on the creators. There's more entertainment than ever. And if you tell your audience they're grumpy old dinosaurs, or to go touch grass, guys. If you don't like my series, go touch grass. They'll simply find something else to watch. The fan doesn't need Doctor Who to survive. Doctor Who needs fandom to survive. I completely agree with that. And guys, the last thing, if the BBC pulled the plug tomorrow, fans would still have over 2,400 hours and counting of Big Finish audios. That's more than 5 times the length of Classic and New Who combined. The Hooverines would keep spinning you with or without Ross Davis. Yeah, it's what I'm doing now with the expanded universe in Star Wars. I do not need modern day Star Wars. I've got 120 books to go through. I've read 3.5. I think. Is it 3.5? Yeah. So I've got a lot more to do. You can see here, you can read the rest. RTD is STD for me. it's really weird, man. Oh, R2D2. So guys, tell me what you think. Do you agree with this article? I'm actually surprised, but we have to criticize things, guys. Doctor Who and the Curse of Fatal Funds. How RTD2 blew the budget. Let me know, guys, what you think. I'll see you later.